Okay, so do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. Apologies in advance. I have got a cold, so I might mute myself and disappear to cough and everything. So I do apologise in advance for that.
And I
Um,
will step in like last time. It was
so
the opposite.
just to let you know that this is going to be recorded for training purposes moving forward. Renata's already said about keeping our mics muted throughout, but obviously if you've got a burning question, pop it in the chat, put your hand up, and we can get round to you. We will try and keep questions at the end if they've not already been answered throughout the webinar. So just to introduce myself, my name's Helen. I've started working with London School of Childcare Studies from June. We've changed my job title today. I am the course engagement and partner relations manager. Yes. So working with people to get them onto our courses and supporting students that are going through the process and working with any partners going forward. Love working with Renata as well, so it's great fun. It's good to, I've kind of done a full loop back into childcare. That's where my degree's in. So I've kind of done a full loop background to the teaching of it now, or supporting with those that are going to be teaching with it. So it's good. Renata, do you want to sort of tell them a little bit about yourself as well?
So I am the person behind the London School of Childcare Studies. It all started kind of just to help. I used to work in recruitment, domestic staff recruitment. I saw lots of people just like myself. I used to be a nanny. I used to came to UK as an au pair, absolutely fall in love with working so closely with children that I couldn't imagine to do anything else. But I realized that lots of our people who fell into this were unqualified, and that comes with lack of confidence, not sometimes maybe not such a good pay. So I started to bring expert teachers to teach candidates, and then when pandemic hit, it's all changed. We went online. I realized how much I love this environment, the learning environment, because I love learning. I love bringing new experts. I didn't realize how much there is to learn and how much things need to get out for the people who are working with the children, because let's be honest, everyone who works with the children is really passionate about childcare. They don't do it very often for money. They do it because there is something else. They want to give something. They want to be part of something really huge in a child's life. So here I am. Now, trying to make the company more kind of community based, where we kind of help our nannies, childcarers, childminders to kind of create this welcoming personal environment where we can learn from each other, because we are all starting to kind of little disconnect. We all connected through the online and things, and we all very, very busy, and I think we need to come back together, create those community of child like-minded people. So yeah, I could keep going on. Sorry, back to you, Helen.
Thank you. We've got two guest speakers with us tonight. We've got Allie and Maria from the National Nanny Association. So, Allie, do you want to give a little introduction about yourself and just, a little bit of background, let everyone know who you are?
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the chair of the National Nanny Association. We have been working on this project for about 2 years, me and Maria, and we launched in October. So it's very, very, very new. We're very passionate about it. My background is 30 years in childcare. I trained as a Norland nanny. I worked as a nanny for 12 years. And then I've worked in nurseries, I've worked in schools, I've been a parent coach, I've done maternity nursing, I've done it all. And then about 12 years ago, I went into childcare recruitment and been doing that ever since, really, with a little bit of nursery work every now and again and a little bit of nannying every now and again. So I sort of dip my toes back in so I don't lose touch, really. I'm a mum as well. I've got 2 children. They are now growing up very fast, though. So I've got a 17-year-old boy and coming up 20-year-old girl at university. So What else can I tell you? Yeah, I think that's everything about me, and then Maria can introduce herself.
Have I unmuted? Hopefully so. Hi, I'm Maria. I've been working in childcare about 16 years now. Started from the bottom as unqualified nursery nurse, working up through level 2, 3 up to nursery management. Ran a nursery, worked in schools, and then was headhunted from the nursery to become a nanny, and haven't looked back since. So I've worked all over the world, the UK, the Philippines, Caribbean. Obviously COVID hits, that changed a lot of things, and but there's also the way it's how it brought me and Allie together to press on and get this association off the ground, working on a few other things in the background, but we did it and we're here tonight.
Perfect, lovely. So we've had some questions sent in. So if I just kind of go through a few, I think you both have had a copy of the questions as well. So if I just read out a couple of questions for you, and then either one of you can answer, dip in and talk if that's all right. So the first one is, what is the National Nanny Association UK and what are its core goals?
Are you going to go, Maria, or am I?
Go on, you go.
Okay. So the National Nanny Association is a professional organisation. It's a not-for-profit. It's been set up by Maria and myself because we felt there was nothing out there guiding anybody, families and nannies. And I know there was BAPN before, the British Association of Professional Nannies, which was running for about 25 years, and they closed about just after COVID, basically. And we sort of sat back and just to see if anyone else was going to do it, and we made a little bit of noise and we did a bit of market research, and everything was positive, so we thought we'd go for it. So yeah, it's we're aiming for it to be a professional organisation. It's going to be promoting best practice, training, how to become a nanny, career progression, a voice for the nannies as well. We've been making some relationships at the Department of Education, trying to get sort of nannies back on their map as such. So advocating for nannies, the recognition of nannying as well. We felt that there needed to be a unified voice for nannies. There's no one out there doing that, and I think if you look in some of the chat groups on Facebook and things, you know, they all need support. That, you know, when it can be a very isolating role being a nanny, and you've got sometimes lots of questions going around in your head if things are going not as planned. And it's just nice. Since we've opened, I've had lots of nannies just, you know, message me or call me, and we're just that little voice on your shoulder, you know, just giving you guidance, that little guardian angel. That's what Maria and I want to be. And then there's also the campaign that we're running alongside, which is the Road to Nanny regulation, which we know is probably an impossible task, but there's no reason why we can't advocate for better standards, and guide nannies and families to better practice. So that's what we aim to do with the campaign. I don't know if Maria wants to add anything there.
I think the only thing I would add to that, Allie, is we can only be as big and as strong as the nannies that join us. It's Allie and myself have co-founded this association, but it's not about us. It's about our industry and the nannies that are in it, and being part of that community, as Allie said, and given a voice. And as I've always said for years, together we are stronger, but now more so than ever, because childcare is a fragmented department anyway, and no one knows who to turn to. So we're kind of going, we're not saying we've got all the answers. We're absolutely not. But what we're saying is, ask us the questions, join like you are tonight with childcare studies, and we'll work together to find the answers and get your voices heard.
Lovely, thank you very much.
It's such a true in terms of that nanny, being nanny is can be very lonely. isn't it? Because if you're working in a kind of other, let's say, business environment, you have colleagues, the colleagues that say, oh, this wasn't right, the way your boss behave or something, or you share those struggles, or you see how other people do things. But when you're a nanny, you're on your own, and that's quite scary. And very often nannies start very, very young with not really much experience in working in such a personal relationship as working, you know, in home. So yeah, well done. I think it's very much needed.
Absolutely. Okay, what are the biggest challenges for the Nanny Association?
Do you want me to go? Getting members, getting our name out there. I think that's the biggest hurdle at the moment. And we are working very hard every day to get lots of benefits for members to help them join. So getting better training, advice on that. We're getting discount codes. We've got a free legal line. We've got templates if a nanny needs to hand in their resignation or announce that they're pregnant, and what that entails and what that comes with. So I think the biggest hurdle at the moment is for us to get ourselves out there. But things like this help, I think. And then the other challenge that we've got, obviously, is the nannies not being included in the funding for government. I think that's really affecting our industry at the moment. And we have spoken to the Department of Education last week about it. And we put a few proposals forward. But I know that's really affecting job roles, full-time job roles. There's lots of parents out there mixing and matching, you know, some are flexible working, one day nanny, one day nursery. Yeah, it's all a little bit higgledy-piggledy. So for me, I think that is probably our biggest challenge, because what comes with that is obviously worry about money, job opportunities, career progression. You know, why would I want to be a nanny in an industry where full-time jobs are decreasing, you know? So this is a worry, and we need to keep spirits up and think of things how we can, you know, help that, basically. Maria, what would you like?
I think exactly the same as Ali's. Like, we are a new association, so it's growing slowly, but we want people, nannies, to join us before they need us. Obviously we're going to be there for the nannies when they need support with the legal advice line and the templates, as Ali said, but we want nannies to feel like they belong as part of the industry and the community, which is what we're trying to do through the association. Is that you don't join us when it's too late, right? There's that support network for you. You've just got to, they need to find it and find us. And we've only been going a few months, and I know the people we've helped so far have been so grateful, and that makes what we've done so worthwhile. Because if it helps one person, which it already has, and a few more in between, we're doing what we've set out to do.
Yeah, amazing. So what do you think is going to happen with the industry? Because if nothing changes, because I think it used to be many years ago when I started that having a nanny was almost like only for those, you know, very wealthy people. But it's changing now, because the way, you know, people work, there is more flexible hours, there is more, you know, doctors, right? They need you know, longer hours that what nursery can do. There are many other jobs that you know, nursery wouldn't be probably the perfect option for the parents. Also, when there is a problem when the children get ill, right? What do? You know, you cannot go to work. So yeah, so what do you think? It's if things don't change, is it going to be just decreasing number of nannies, or?
I think it's, as nannies are, the word flexible comes to mind. And I think they are going to have to be a bit more open-minded while we're going through this difficult stage. I mean, I think hopefully the Department of Education did listen to what we'd said and how it's affecting our industry. And hopefully going forward, if there is an early years reform, we will be very much part of that. And if that happens, then that would be amazing for our industry. And that would create a lot more job opportunities, I think. But I think at this time, we've got to be open-minded about jobs out there and how we can make it work. I mean, if you've made that decision to become a nanny and you've committed to that, then it's about being open-minded about how you can work as a nanny. And I think at the moment there is a lot of 2 days with one family, maybe 3 days with another, maybe doing 1 day in a nursery and 4 days as a nanny. So actually, it's just looking at it a bit more positively and not negatively. So yeah, that was what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we need to kind of get behind you and help you to do what you do, because it just does not make sense that they didn't include nannies in the funding, because I remember a lot of people use that funding for their childcare, and it make a huge difference. And as I said, those were not super wealthy people. They were normal working people with demanding schedules that needed that flexibility and being able to, like surgeons and people, they have to go to work. You're not going to cancel the operation if the child is ill, right? It just does not make sense. So we need to get behind you and help you to promote. So anyone who is here, you better share that where you've been today and what you hear, and get behind National Nanny Association. Helen, have you got more questions?
Absolutely. What first drew you to the nannying industry, and how did your journey lead you to the National Nanny Association? I know you've sort of covered a little bit, but what was the first thing that drew you into getting into nannying in the first place?
Do you want me to go first? So I was headhunted from being a nursery manager. One of the children were my key workers. Obviously, they knew I was in management, and I was right at that cusp of I was going to have my own branch of the nursery opened. And this parent kind of said to me, look, I'm going to have my second child. Obviously, do what you need's best for you, but there's this job on the table if you want it. And originally, I actually said no, because I was like, oh, I've worked in nurseries for this amount of time. I've got friends, I've got a support network, which as you're a nanny in a different area, you don't have. And then I just kind of sat back and thought, well, you know what, if I don't do this now and I don't try it, I don't want it to be a regret. And I've never looked back. It's the best thing I did. It's allowed me to grow professionally and personally. I've continued to do my courses, even though, when you're in a nursery or in a setting, you have to do various courses. I've chosen to then carry on my knowledge, go doing neuroscience in early years. I'm still working through that one, but also other courses in between to keep me the best nanny as I am. I am still a professional nanny. I still work a 70-hour week and do this in between nap times, afternoons off, days off, weekends, whenever me and Allie can throw ourselves together at the same part of the country. And we're doing it for everyone else, not for us.
So
Yep.
oh, sorry.
I just wanted to add that, that shows working with children is not a job, it's a vocation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Allie.
That's okay. So I got into childcare. So I went to a theatre school, and at 16 I left there thinking, oh, if I'm going to be an actress, I need to get into something else when I'm not working. Very positive. And so I went to sixth form and did a sort of child psychology course, GCSE, I think it was. It wasn't anything big. And absolutely was just fascinated with it. And I was starting to do A levels as well, but because I've become from a theatre school where we did sort of half a day academic, half a day vocational, my brain just wasn't ready for the jump to A levels. I mean, it's a jump from GCSEs anyway. And the school sort of said, look, you're going to struggle here. So I had to sort of rethink everything. And we sort of came across Norland, and I went for an interview, and you you shouldn't really start until you're 18, and I was 17 at the time, and they offered me a place a year early. So because I wasn't doing the A level anymore, I thought, well, what have I got to lose? So that's what I did. And I just, yeah, you got absolutely thrown into the deep end. So yeah, I did that. And then, as Maria said, I literally didn't look back. 12 years. I had a really lovely probation family, because you part of the course you had to live with a family for 9 months to be able to get your Norland diploma. And I stayed with them for 2.5 years. They were amazing, so generous and kind. It was 3 children though, and at sort of 19 years old, I had a newborn, an 18-month-old, and a 3-year-old. So I really had my hands full, but I absolutely loved it and learned so much. And then, yeah, so that's how I sort of got into nannying.
Could you just, for those that don't know, explain what a Norland nanny is, just so they have that little bit of understanding of what it is?
Sure. So Norland College is it's the oldest nanny or childcare college. It was formed in 1850 or around that by a lady called Emily Ward. And she was a Frobelian, or however you pronounce it, Froebelian, Frederick Froebel. So she founded Norland, and it's the only, there's now Chiltern College, which is a training college, but that's for nursery as well as being a nanny. It's for level 3. At Norland now you do an early years degree and a Norland diploma, and you just learn. I don't think there's anywhere like it in the world. You just learn everything, every little single detail of a child growing up, how to do it. You learn anything that you could come across. So you come out feeling hopefully very confident and how to bring up a child. Yeah, it's very unique.
As people deeply involved in the nannying industry, what advice would you give to someone just starting their career as a nanny, or to a family looking to hire a nanny?
Am I going first on that, Ali? If you're doing it for the money, you're in the wrong job. Like, you can't come into this industry and think, oh, I'll just do it half-heartedly, because them children deserve better. And as a nanny, you should be giving better. It's a passion and a vocation, like you guys have said previously. And if your heart's not in it, then really you shouldn't be doing it at all, because you're letting yourself down and the children and the families that hire you down. For families looking to hire a nanny, I've always said in all my interviews, when I've interviewed, I may or may not be the right nanny for you. Only you can make that decision, and it's a feeling that you know as a parent, not what I'm about to do or tell you. You'll make that connection, and from what I do or say in that interview or trial or whatever steps you go through, I'm not saying sell yourself short, but don't sell yourself cocky, because they're not going to hire someone that thinks the sun shines outside their bottom and they are the best thing since sliced bread. They're not. This is not a right fit. So be you, be true to who you are, and find your passion. So you might love sewing, you might love knitting, you might love swimming, and bring that into your practice. And that is what families will look for if it aligns and matches with them.
That's true. That's true. And it also comes the other way, isn't it? It's if you don't feel this is the right family for you, don't push it, because there is something like an instinct. That's something that I learned in the recruitment as well. If there is something like, I'm not sure, maybe there is something right.
Yeah, like go on your gut feelings, because the thing is that the worst thing you want to do is sign a contract, say it's for a year with a 3 months probation, and hate it, and that's going to show through in your practice and who you are. And also, it's not good for you as a nanny either, because if you're not enjoying your job, your mental health's going to deteriorate, your physical health's going to deteriorate. You've got to look after yourself as well. So if you feel like things aren't going well, or you don't have that connection to being with, follow your gut instinct. It's not the right fit, and there will be another family out there. It might not be the next week, or it might not be the next day, but you'll do yourself better as a professional nanny and for you personally, because like we said, we are on our own. There's only so much we can do, but we need to protect ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what is your, Ali, experience as a agency owner. Is my experience in recruitment used to be that when nannies start to look for the job, they usually don't get the first, second, third job. And it's almost when they kind of, oh gosh, another interview, and they just don't try too hard. That's when the truth through themselves comes out, and that's when they usually get the offer. Is that your experience as well? Because that used to be
Can
mine.
be. I mean, everyone's very different, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, my advice is do your research. And I think a lot of people think nannying is the easy option, the fill-in job. Oh, I'm just going to be playing with children. You know, it's harder than you think. And I think for a family looking for a nanny, again, do your research, find out what the market rate is, work out what you want to see in your nanny, the traits, what sort of role you can offer them. And equally, do your research on other childcare options. Don't just put your eggs all in one basket sort of thing, because your child might not suit a nanny just one-to-one share. They might want to have that social interaction and get on better in a nursery or a childminder. Or so I think research is definitely my first advice. And then if you're looking to become a nanny, again, get a little bit of experience before you dive into, you know, one nanny role. Maybe do a little temporary role. I mean, when I was training at Norland, I did a little 6-week stint in the summer holidays. A lot of the my colleagues used to do that. We were just getting a little bit of experience underneath our belt, just to get that insight and just get that feeling of what it might be like and how you can sort of navigate day-to-day conversations with children and with adults. So yeah, just giving you that little taste, that little dip, just to make sure it's something that you really feel passionate about. Because as you say, as everyone has said tonight, it is very much a calling, I think. It's not for everybody, and you have to make sure that it is.
Lovely, thank you. I'm going to try and squeeze another question in before I maybe open it up to anyone else. What advice would you give to someone thinking about starting their own business in the nannying field? So the sort of opposite to those becoming a nanny, those wanting to become an agency, should we say?
Ali, that's over to you.
Yeah. What advice would I give? Again, research. Do your research. Talk to other agency owners. I think that would be the best way. Go and shadow someone. I mean, I've had lots of people that have started agencies come and just sit with me for a day and just see if they like it, see what I do day to day. What else would I advise? Do things properly, like don't cut corners, because it will, like anything in life, if you do cut corners, it will come back to bite you on the behind. And I think, you know, when you're dealing with families and children, it's a really important responsibility. And if you are cutting corners, then it will show up eventually. So research, shadow, talk to get a so my brain's gone. It's the end of the day. Get a network behind you, because again, if it's just you as an agency owner, it can be very lonely, and you might have just that one nasty client one day and who says horrible things, and then you're just like, it throws you off. So yeah, research.
Renata, have you got any other questions at all at the moment?
Let me think. I think I would be quite interested what kind of troubles, not troubles, but the kind of things nannies come to you that they found the support with your association. What is the kind of most common thing you see, or at your work as an agency as well?
At the moment, so we had a nanny last week who had some behavioural issues with a child, and there was a bit of a miscommunication with the parents. And I think the nanny had not panicked, but was very worried about the situation. She thought it was escalating too quickly, and she didn't feel the support of the parents, and she was worrying about the behaviour of the child and how it was affecting a sibling. And also she was Ofsted registered, and so she was worrying, because it was escalating quickly, that, you know, would she have to report anything? Did she have that responsibility? So there was lots of questions going on in her head. So I sat and talked to her for about an hour and a half. We came up with a little plan. We wrote everything down. And that really just calmed her down. And she knew then that if she had a question, she had a plan, she could look at what we'd sort of figured out together. And of course, it was sort of just slowing the whole situation down, trying to talk to the mum and dad about it, and what the plan would be going forward if certain things happened. So we gave her that support, and I'm pleased to say that at the end of last week, everything was sorted. So, and they had open communication, and she felt so much happier. So that was just one example, but it seems to be that we're here at the moment for just everyday questions that people might not just have the answer to, or just knowing that someone's there to talk to. I don't know about you, Maria.
I think the only thing I'd add to that is it's coming to that time of year where if nannies necessarily haven't been happy in their jobs, they're now starting to relook at doing their CVs. And one of the things through the association is, and Annie's been working away like a little beaver on this, is like making your CVs up to date, making it professional, making it stand out from everyone else's. So people are kind of at that point where they're at the crossroads. It's almost like they're hanging on to see what happens with Christmas and how they're treated, to whether they make that decision, because we all know now is not a good time to look for work. But if, again, do your research and your preparation and you're already thinking about leaving, we've seen nannies asking, cool, can we do this to our CV? Can we do that? Because I'll be looking in the new year to see what brings. So one of the things we do offer is this CV guidance and a CV update and a format. And I think the other thing is when you do join, you do get some membership benefits, and it's been really lovely to see members posting their membership cards across the socials to kind of go, yeah, you know what, I'm not on my own, I'm part of this group, and look, I've got something to show for it. So there's that. It's the community's growing, and it's really nice to see when we get notifications say we've been tagged in a post by this person. I'm like, oh, thanks guys.
Oh,
It's just something little, but it means a lot.
Yeah, that's perfect. So if I can add, you gave quite good advice there. So if I can add from my experience, little advice, and that usually comes with when you go to for interview or when you read the job description, try to adjust it to the job. Because very often, whenever I interviewed someone, they would say, "Oh, this job is good for me," and I'm like, "Well, are you good for that job? Let's analyze it. You know, have look at the age of the children. What kind of challenges parents can have with those children? You know, prepare yourself. What you're gonna say. You're gonna ask questions. You know, how is the child? You know, in certain age, I don't know if we're allowed to say, but temper tantrum. How is his behavior? How is his emotions after school? Is he, you know, wind up or calm or whatever? You know, how is all those questions will show that you understand that age. So I think that's my little advice. Be proactive, you know, rather than kind of answering the question. You can answer the question, you know, and show that you are really understanding about the development of the child, what the parents might go through. They might even feel good if you say, you know, because they will feel, oh, you understand what's going on, because they might be struggling as well. Lots of parents are struggling, but they don't talk about it. So it's good because at the end of the day, you're going to be team, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be teamwork with the parents, not at least that's how I used to see it. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
The partnership is very, very important. And if that doesn't work, you know, you can be the best nanny ever, but you're going to struggle if the partnership with the parents, when there is not that mutual trust.
Yeah. And also it's the mutual boundaries. You know what, if you're going to rock up late to work, you can't have a go at your parents if their train's delayed by 10 minutes, because that's genuine. But again, it's give and take. Sometimes train delays happen and you've got to be flexible, going back to what Ali said earlier about flexibility. Sometimes in life that happens. Yes, if it happens every day, well then obviously it's not the trains every day. You need to have a conversation, but have the conversation to begin with and before it explodes, because it could be something so little like a dish left in the sink, and that's the straw that breaks the camel back. But actually the communication wasn't open to begin with, which both sides need to work out.
And I guess this is, especially if you're working with the children, you kind of don't have an example where to learn this kind of having difficult conversation from others, because you're not really surrounded by that kind of environment where those difficult work conversation take place. So I think that's where your association again comes very valuable, because you can kind of say, no, you're not mad, you are right, you should be talking about it, and that's how you should put it, to the parents. So I think that's, when I was nanny, that's definitely something I struggle. I knew there is a problem, but I just put up with it because I thought maybe there is something wrong with me, or maybe, or I don't know how to put the question. I don't want to lose the job. I don't want to upset them, because again, that relationship is so close and personal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So shall we ask if anyone's got any question?
Sure.
From my experience, everyone goes quiet. If you don't have any question, it's absolutely fine. It's been lovely to chat to you, Allie and Maria. You know where they are. We're going to follow up with an email to send you the link if you want to register with them. And if you've got any questions for us or for Allie and Maria, please feel free. We both have something in common, our organization, their organization. We're here to help you. We want to create that community. That's also comes from my heart, because I've been there, I went through it, and I know it can be very challenging. So yeah, so thank you very much. Is there anything you want to add to the end? No.
No.
Great. So thank you. Have a good night and take care. Look after yourself. And if you're celebrating Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. If you don't, have a happy holiday, and hopefully we'll see you on our other events. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for watching our video. For more London School of Childcare Studies content, see our social media or visit our website childcarestudies.co.uk.